What up, everybody? OG Power made it a point to build up the next generation of the Power universe, primarily focused around the life of Ghost's son, Tariq St. Patrick. And at the conclusion of Power, transitioning into Book 2, Tariq has been able to successfully carry his own show. And whoever survives Power Book 2, we will see them continue to the next phase of their life as adults, no longer college students. Because Gianni Paolo is 28, Alex Capri is 27. How long would they want to continue playing college students? Michael Rainey Jr., the youngest of the group, is even 23 himself now. So because of that, regardless who's in the next spinoff, there will likely be a couple-year time jump, possibly even more, considering the new spinoffs aren't likely to be released until 2026. But now that Tariq and the crew are about to graduate into adulthood, it's now time to take a look into the next generation of the Power universe. Because like Kanan once said, it's a young man's game. And like Ghost once said, he didn't know any old, wrinkled up retired drug dealers. As smart or intelligent as some teenagers may be, they're still both ignorant and curious of the possibilities out there. And they say ignorance is bliss. Because you can tell someone about the dangers of the life all day, but they won't ever really know until they experience the consequences for themselves. Most of us have heard at one point or another that drug dealers end up dead or in jail, but still chose to get in the game anyway. Getting me to the next generation of the Power universe and what will connect them all in a future spinoff. The next generation of the Power universe has characters like Yaz St. Patrick carrying on the St. Patrick name and legacy into this spinoff. Cash Grant, the son of Lakeisha Grant, Tasha's best friend since childhood, who Tasha also killed. And it was said by Keisha at one point that Tasha was a shitty friend, that Yaz had been over to Keisha's 1,000 times, but when was the last time Tasha even checked on Cash? So we could assume that Cash and Yaz know each other from when they were younger, from all the times Keisha babysat Yaz. Tasha and Keisha were even so close at the beginning of Power when Tasha first started separating herself from Ghost. When Tasha was hiding money, she was having her mail sent to Keisha's. So even though we never saw Tasha and Cash together on screen, we can also assume that Cash knows Tasha very well and probably even called her Auntie Tasha at one point in his life. Other characters in the next generation of the Power universe is Elisa Marie Proctor, the daughter of Joe Proctor, and Elijah Tate, the son of Kamal Tate and the nephew of Congressman Rashad Tate. Other characters who were mentioned in Power, but we never saw on screen, was the daughter of Mike Sandoval and the children of Agent Jerry Donovan, whose daughter was only on screen once when Sandoval showed up to Donovan's to take him out and frame him. Notice that all these characters have one thing in common, and that is that they all have at least one parent who has been killed. Elijah Tate would be the exception, but most of us think that his father Kamal will be killed once he figures out that Carter and his task force are dirty. Then at that point, all these characters would have that in common, that they all have at least one parent who had been killed. And in Ghost Season 4, Episode 4, we were introduced to a character named Kevin Grant, who worked for Wiley Adams, and who Kane was given the task to distract. And once Kevin Grant was distracted, he started telling Kane about a program he was setting up for at-risk youth. But once he started talking about it, Kane blew him off and left looking for Drew. But I believe that Kevin Grant is also connected to Cash Grant. That Kevin Grant is likely the half-brother of Lakeisha, or possibly the brother of Kadeem if Keisha was once married to her baby daddy Kadeem, and Grant could be his last name and not Keisha's actual maiden name. Also, there's a good possibility that Kevin Grant is now raising Cash because it was said that Cash's father Kadeem was a repeat offender and it was only a matter of time until he went back inside. If Kevin Grant is in fact connected to Cash in some type of way, then he most likely is trying to start this program for the youth after being inspired by Cash. And what if the at-risk youth that Kevin Grant is talking about specifically is those who have lost a parent to a homicide? Then this program would be what connects all these kids moving forward in the next spinoff. The spinoff would most likely start out with these kids as high school students. even if the actual actors are a little older than teens by the time this happens. Just keep in mind that 2 years ago when Book 2 was filmed, Gianni Paolo was 26, but Braden Weston was only 20. And this isn't just for the younger characters. Power does this with the older characters also, as Omari Hardwick is 5 to 10 years older than James St. Patrick. But the tension in this spinoff would be there from the jump because of the connections with all these characters' parents. Even add the kids of Sandoval and Donovan into the mix because they could have known each other or possibly seen each other, or at the very least, the name would be familiar because their parents worked together. Yaz St. Patrick is not currently living in New York because she's in Whitsec with her mother Tasha and grandmother Estelle. But Tasha has been warned that she's on her last chance before getting kicked out of Whitsec. Tasha doesn't really need to be in Whitsec anymore in the first place because she's hashed things out with Tommy. And Tasha isn't happy with her life right now either, stuck working at Shop Depot, the only job available in the town she lives. Because of these factors, there's also a chance that Tasha could return back to New York and live, and this would be how Yaz would be connected with this group and the other kids. Even though Yaz has never had a significant role on the show, she's been around from the beginning as a part of the St. Patrick family. The character who would be closest connected with Yaz would be Cash Grant. Cash was finally introduced on screen in season 6, but his mother Lakeisha was around from the very first episode of Power as part of Tasha's crew hanging out at the grand opening of Club True. The last time we saw Cash on screen was at the end of Power Book 2 Ghost Season 1 when Tariq was looking for Tommy. Notice that Tariq knew exactly where to look to find Tommy. This also lets us know again, either though the two were never on screen together, that Cash and Tariq also know each other. Obviously, Tariq and Yaz most likely know Cash very well and also know a lot about him, and vice versa, because their mothers were best friends since childhood. A lot of us could take into consideration our own relationship with either our mother or father's best friend's children. We didn't get much into the life of Cash during this scene, just him telling Tommy it was nice seeing him. Last we heard, Cash was living with his father Kadeem after his mother's death. But like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, because of Kadeem's history, right now Cash might be living with another family member like Kevin Grant. The last time we saw Elisa Marie Proctor was in Season 6, Episode 13 of Power, when she was abducted by Tommy Egan in an attempt to try to get the recording of him talking to Ruiz. By the time Tommy dropped her off, she had figured out that Tommy killed her father. She also knows that her father was responsible for killing her mother, Lindsay, as she overheard his conversation with her uncle, Benny Savello, who Tommy also killed. Elisa Marie Proctor was staying with her aunt Dolores last time we saw her in episode 613. Elijah Tate only appeared in one episode, season 6, episode 14, when Rashad got drunk at the bar and Kamal picked him up and he had to steal Elijah's bed. Elijah was introduced the next morning, and it showed that he was smarter than both of his parents and that he also looks up to his uncle, Rashad. Right now, everything is all good in Elijah's world. As far as we know, he's most likely an honor student at whatever high school he attends. But if Kamal is indeed killed in season 4, Elijah's world would be turned upside down, possibly causing him to take a darker turn. And there you have it. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.